Hello, cheers, and welcome back to CPL Pads, where learning English is fun. I am teacher Chris. These past few months, we look at quite a few of the clauses and created simplified versions and discussed their importance, right? Today's topic is participle clauses. So let's dive into the video. Firstly, I'm going to talk about present participle clauses. A present participle clause can be used to express something that happens at the same time as the action in the main clause. Here are some examples. I heard the police sirens while walking beside the river. In other words, I heard the police sirens while I was walking beside the river. They entered the building chatting excitedly. In other words, as they entered the building, they were chatting excitedly. It can also be used for something that occurs just before another action. Lifting the box, I found the letter I had lost. In other words, I lifted the box and I found the letter that I had lost. We can use it for an action that is the result of another action. For example, when he stepped onto the stage to receive the award, the audience all applauded, making him feel extremely proud. Here's another example. Moments later, there was an aftershock, leaving many people injured and several house blocks destroyed. We can use it as a reason for the action in the main clause. Speaking many languages as I do, I manage to deal with foreign customers quite frequently. Or in other words, I manage to deal with foreign customers quite frequently because I speak so many languages. Having not much else to do, I turn on the television. This is another way of saying, since I had not much else to do, I turn on the television. Knowing a little bit about gardening, he had no problem in finding the best spot to plant the vegetables. In other words, as he knew a little bit about gardening, he had no problem in finding the best spot to plant the vegetables. I will show you how you can have two different subjects. For example, the water being warm enough, they went for a swim in the sea. This means, as the water was warm enough, they went for a swim in the sea. If we want to show that the action in the participle clause took place before the action in the main clause. For example, having brushed my teeth, I got dressed and set off for work. In other words, after I had brushed my teeth, I got dressed and set off for work. Having ironed my shirt, I noticed a small spot of ink on the left cuff. This means after I ironed my shirt, I noticed a small spot of ink on the left cuff. Here, if we use the present participle ironing the shirt, it would change the meaning to while I was ironing the shirt. So it all depends when I notice the ink spots after I finished ironing or during the time I was ironing. If the two actions do not follow each other immediately, or if the first action happens over a period of time, we should use a perfect participle instead of a present participle for the earlier action. Here's an example. Having been to that restaurant before, they wanted to try out a different one. I knew all the shortcuts around the city, having lived there all my life. Let's now look at past participle clauses replace passive voice finite clauses. Here's an example. Stunned by the news, he immediately called his boss to give him the information. That means he was stunned by the news and immediately called his boss to give him the information. Another example, the cat fell to the ground, chased by the pack of dogs. In other words, the cat fell to the ground while the pack of dogs chased it. To stress that an action happens before another one, we tend to use a passive perfect participle. Here's an example. Having been elected twice as vice president, she declared she would not seek a third term of office. My next topic is part of participle clauses, replacing a relative pronoun. So here, an active voice finite relative clause can be substituted by a present participle clause. The noun before the participle in the doer of the action. For example, the person delivering the letter was not our regular postman. In other words, the person who was delivering the letter was not our regular postman. Present participle clause can be used even with verbs which are not in normal circumstances, used in the continuous form. These are called state verbs. Some examples. If you think you have received an email containing a virus, you should delete it immediately. In other words, if you think you have received an email which contains a virus, delete it immediately. A passive voice finite relative clause can be replaced with a past participle clause. Here, the noun before the participle is its object. For example, this is the first gift sent by my relatives. In other words, this is the first gift that my relative sent. Here are some useful phrases which introduce a participle clause and their meanings. Because, to give a reason. As long as, to state a condition. As soon as, to stress that one thing happened just after another. So, to express a result. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Once again, I am Teacher Chris saying learning English is fun. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the bell. Bye for now. Cheers!